to Chicago, where the fire serve cold, but the Wolves and the Hawks never shiver in the snow. The Bulls keep it running, the Sox run the South, the Cubs run the North, but the Bears run the house. True Chicago sports fans got their ears to the street. Any team make a move and they never skip a beat. And in this house, this is where we be. Welcome to the show with E-Roc and Big-Z.
Welcome to Chicago. Coming from the True Chicago Sports Fan Cave, this is the TCSF podcast with E-Roc and Big-Z. Yeah! Episode 59 is brought to you by 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans, ACSI, and Grit Clothing Company. Don't forget to go to gritclothingco.com and get your official TCSF podcast t-shirts. Search for keyword True Chicago. Use our promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off your entire order. That is TrueFan15. Go get your official TCSF shirts now.
Go get them.
Ladies and gentlemen, like what you hear, do us a favor and share this show, this podcast, with 5 of your most closest friends.
Your close friends, your friends you don't like that much, the ones that you love the most.
Family members, your dog, your cat, parakeet.
Call your friends, call your neighbors.
There we go.
There we go.
Oh, man, we're in the studio. I'm here with my homie, my boy, the man, the myth, the legend, E-Roc. What up, E?
What's up, Z? What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the show. If you are a first-timer or a long-timer, please remember to hit that subscribe button, that notify button, and go ahead and give us a review on your listening app of choice. We're everywhere, people. Apple, Spotify, all of them. So go find us and rate us and subscribe. And don't forget, you can support the show with a monthly subscription at anchor.fm/True Chicago Sports Fans and click on support. And you can become a subscriber for as low as 99 cents a month.
You spend more on that on liquor and... Oh, I can't say that, right? Oh, we can say that. Liquor and hookers, right?
I don't. I don't know what you do.
I'm back to work. I can't do all that no more, man.
no more late night hanging out under the viaduct no more.
Oh no, God no! Stay away from Cicero, bro. Get out of here.
All right, y'all. Before we get into it, we want to tell you about an upcoming event we have going on tomorrow, August 22nd. We will be at the 3rd annual Chicago Police Nights free back-to-school baseball clinic.
Yes, sir.
It's at the Little Cubs Field in Humboldt Park, 1339 Luis Munoz Marine Drive in Chicago. We'll be there between 10 and 1. This is a great event to basically give back to kids in the neighborhood. Back to school, we're going to be giving away some school supplies. It's a clinic for baseball players. And don't forget the Gators, the all-girls team,
yes, sir,
is from Humboldt Park, plays out of Humboldt Park. So this is a very baseball-rich community. If you're around, wave, say hi. We'll be around.
Yeah, come get a sticker.
Come get a sticker. That's about it. And you know, we'll take a picture and you know, we'll act like celebrities at least for one day.
That's right.
Z, how are you doing, sir? How was your week?
My week was kind of long just because I went back to work on Wednesday and you know, you go and there's a lot of pointless emails. You know, I'm in the PE department, so we're like the redheaded stepchild that no one thinks about. So every meeting they're like, reading and math and science, and I'm like, hey, hello, hi guys, I'm here at work.
Over the last almost a year now, I am very accustomed to a lot of emails.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're like, what? Why did you send this to me? This is not for me. Why did it?
I get that all the time. Yeah. So the beginning of the school year starts for me on Monday. So by the time you guys hear this, I will probably lose a lot of hair, a lot of sleep.
Hey, as long as you don't lose as much as me, you'll be all right.
Oh, yeah. Don't go that far. Come on, pump the brakes.
Well, check it out, ladies and gentlemen. We know that summer is almost over, and I know a lot of people are anxious to get back to work, and we actually have a great opportunity for you all. Let me tell you a little bit about our friends over at ACSI. With over 50 expert technicians in the Chicagoland area, ACSI offers a one-stop shop for telecom wiring, whether residential cable installation, fiber to the home, or commercial structured cable wiring. Z, let me tell you the most impressive thing about ACSI. During these hard times, the ACSI crew did their thing during the COVID-19 pandemic, and ACSI was awarded HACIA's 2020 Contractor of the Year award. The best part is that ACSI is growing bigger and better than ever. ACSI is now hiring for field sales technicians and project managers. Check out acsi.tech, that's acsi.tech, and click on careers to apply today.
Go get you a job.
So this week, we just went to the fantasy football convention.
Yes,
we sat
did.
there, and it was a good time. We met a lot of the guys from ESPN. Maybe met them a couple times. Yurko was great.
Yurko's are my favorite Waddle too. Yeah.
He's like, hey, it's the podcast guys. you
Yeah.
know? So we were there during the Super Bowl for our boy Mitch Trubisky. His coming home party.
The Bills Bowl.
The Bills Bowl, and we're going to dig a little bit deeper into that game and the Justin Fields or Andy Dalton discussion.
Yeah,
we're
we gotta
also
talk
going
about
to
that.
talk a little bit about the White Sox road struggles and the Cubs finally snapping one of the longest losing streaks in team history.
At least you're into Orioles.
Oh, my God, that's brutal.
It's brutal.
That's brutal. And the thing is like no one's thinking about the Orioles. They haven't been good in a long time. People
No.
are focusing on the Cubs because of what happened this year.
Well,
This is the first year in a long time they're not going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a lot of fun. And as always, we got Stirring the Pot. And
Oh, yeah.
what you looking at? We'll cover some stuff that we're doing that's not sports related. All right, lots of good stuff to talk about this week. But first, this is the Big Three with Big Z.
Thanks, E-Roc. I'm Big Z, and you're not. And now for the stories of the week. All right, story number one. This is a really good one because I follow this man. I follow his whole career pretty much. I'm old. All right, Miguel Cabrera is now a member of the most exclusive clubs in baseball.
Wow.
Miguel Cabrera became the 20th member of the 500 home run club with his 6-inning blast for the Detroit Tigers on Sunday against the Blue Jays in Toronto.
Wow.
The 38-year-old Cabrera connected on a 1-1 pitch off left-hander Steven Matz, who is now part of baseball trivia.
There you go.
This has just cemented his bid for the Hall of Fame.
He's been playing since like 1967. He better get into the Hall of Fame. Seriously, I mean, you remember when he was a young man on the Marlins?
Yeah, I do.
I mean,
He's the third baseman.
Yeah, I mean, he's been around for a long time. So, I mean, good for Miggy. I
Class
can't believe,
act.
how is he still in the league? This is one of them dudes that you forget.
How wasn't he traded?
Well, because he's 38.
No, but I mean,
There's
in
no
the last 5 years,
Yeah,
he's had the opportunity to be traded because Detroit hasn't been good in a while.
but he's all their draw is there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they went. I want to say they went to the World Series with him, but they didn't win anything.
Right.
Because the Tigers were hot for a while when they had Verlander.
Well, they had the best pitching staff. They
Right.
had Verlander and then a bunch of the other guys that are all over the league now.
Right. No, they had a lot of really good. Didn't they have?
Annabelle, they had
Anibal Sanchez. They had. The
Scherzer.
That's who I'm
That's
talking
it,
about.
too.
That was their guy with the two eyes.
Yeah,
the
two eyes.
two different colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so they had a very, very solid team. They did not win it. But look, I'm happy for him. He's been around for a long, long, long time, and he's one of these dudes that like was a star 10 years ago. And he just managed to stick around long enough. And this is it's almost like Frank Gore, where he's going to be able to get into the Hall of Fame based on longevity, not necessarily based on being like an all-time.
But his
great.
numbers
Does
are
that make sense?
His numbers are good. It's just
His numbers
the
are
last
good
5
because
years.
He's played for so long.
But he's deteriorated because of he's been hurt for the past 5 years every year.
He's 157 years old. He's like the umpire we had at our last softball game.
But that bad.
Oh, it was terrible, man. It looked like someone dropped a raisin out of the box. I was like, someone steal that sucker back up. It was bad. And he comes up to a talking about like, oh, I didn't bring my hearing aids today. What?
I'll play the California raisins for you. All right, story number 2. This is awesome because it's a feel-good story. Cassandra Garcia is a first-generation Mexican-American and an NFL executive.
Wow.
More specifically, Garcia is a football management analyst for the Los Angeles Rams and is the highest-ranking Latina in any of the NFL's 32 front offices.
So she's the first one to have this kind of status in the
Yes.
NFL, especially for a female.
Exactly. This is the industry where women held only 32% of the professional management positions in the NFL, but this is according to 2020, of which only 7% were women of color. So that's important. Garcia's rise is a milestone.
I mean, here's the thing is that when you look at the fact that we talk about this all the time, Why do we point out accomplishments of people of color, of people who are queer, of people who are the first one to do the things they're doing?
Right.
Because until it doesn't matter,
It matters.
It matters until it doesn't matter.
Right.
Because everyone needs to be included. These are brilliant, intelligent people, and I think a lot of the things that happens, especially in the United States, we're used to people that don't speak fluent English. We well, if you don't speak English,
You're
you must
dumb.
be dumb.
Right, you're dumb.
It's like, no, I'm just smart in a different language, dude.
The rest of the world doesn't speak English, and they're pretty freaking smart.
So she did have something to say. She came out and says, not to generalize, but there's such a machismo, there's such a focus on the men in our culture. But I grew up so differently. The men are served first, always because we revolve around food. The men sit down and the women serve them.
Very true.
My nana doesn't even eat until the men get their second plate. But for some reason, my nana didn't treat me like that. She served me along with the men. As much as we focus on the patriarchs, we all know who's really running the whole family, and it's my nana. Then after her, it's my mom. So, I mean, I think all married men already know this, but...
Well, this is very, very common in Latino household that,
it's a cultural thing.
It's a very cultural
Yeah.
thing. So, like, the men go to work and then they come home
Yep.
for dinner and they sit down and then the women serve them their food and then they don't eat until after they're done.
I think of it as a different way. I don't think of it as serving someone.
I mean serving the food. I don't mean like serving.
Right, but what I mean is that when we look at your abuela, look at my, you know what I mean? Like when you say, yeah, abuela was cool, but he was the fun one. Who was the one that held everything down for you?
Grandma.
Who was the one that took care of you?
Grandma
Who
and
was
mom.
the one that wiped your ass and fed you and made sure you were safe?
The matriarch.
Right, and that's where it really comes down to. So it's really a more important role.
Oh, yeah.
We're just a support system.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're just there to hold you up, but you're the ones on top of everything. So
It's just think about it like in Mother's and Father's Day, right?
yeah,
Simple as that. Mother gets taken out
Yeah.
to wherever she wants and
Yeah.
gets the whole day off, and it's an extravaganza.
Yep.
What does that get to do? Hey, there's some meat on the counter. Go grill it.
to be fair, you're not wrong, but to be fair, this Mother's Day we did a show. So I had to do it. So hey, I love you, Kim.
All right, with that note, we'll move on to story number 3, and
Thank
this is
God.
going to be a surprise for Eddie, but Eddie's going to love this story because he's a football fanatic.
Okay.
All right, Lee Sanderin. He had to spend some time at the Waffle House for some reason. Oh, yeah, he spent 15 hours in a Waffle House with tens of thousands of people, Twitter joining him in his intestinal shame.
What the hell? Wait. Who? First of all, who is this guy?
All right, so let me break this down to you. So, Lee proposed that if the loser of the football fantasy league loses, this would be your punishment. And his punishment said you would have to spend 24 hours at a Waffle House.
Ugh. This is. I mean, have you been to a Waffle House?
Yes, plenty of times. I went to the South.
Yeah. I mean,
It's an experience.
You
It's
know
an
what-
experience.
You know what it reminds me of the Taco Bell that was across from Lane, where you're just like, why is the floor always wet? Is everyone's always clogging that bathroom? You know
Oh
what I mean?
my
You're like-
God.
remember how
Yeah.
dirty like Burger King floors used to be just
Oh
in the
my
restaurant?
God. It got greasy. Like they have film on it.
Hell
Yeah.
Like you gotta bring you gotta bring grips or like them snow tires to walk around.
So Lee spent 15 hours and 9 waffles later. Why do you say 9 waffles? Because for every waffle that he ate during the 24 hours there, his sentence was reduced by 1 hour.
Yeah, okay. I want to say like I heard of this in passing, but I did not dig deep because I didn't want. Oh my God!
And to be honest with you, I've been to Waffle House plenty of times when I was in Atlanta and all over the South. I never tried their waffles. I didn't know how. I had to like research how big these motherfuckers are. They're big.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of waffles.
Well, it's a house man of waffles. Of course, they're gonna be big. Come on.
Oh my God. So E, have you ever had a league where there's a punishment?
I haven't done a punishment except that you lose all your money. That's the.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, we've definitely. You know, here's the problem is that I feel like, especially someone like me who went to Lane and who just knows a lot of people, my fantasy leagues don't necessarily consist with of like 10 people who all know each other.
Right.
I got 3 friends that I work with. I got my buddies from high school. I got someone I from a past job. Like, so they're all chopped up and they don't necessarily always know each other. And I think that's just the way that I grew up. I knew jack of all trades, master of none. I know a lot of people in different, facets of life, but not enough to be like, hey, we all want to see you do something bad to yourself. Like, I don't think any of my friends hate the other ones enough, but they all, I mean, if I was a loser, they all be like, yep, you got to do that thing. And I'm like, wait a minute. Well, y'all
It's
turn
like, you've got to eat half a pack of Mentos and drink a Coca-Cola.
Oh, boy. Oh, no. Oh, no. Who's going to pay for my plumbing? All right, y'all, let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back after a word from our sponsors. Welcome back to the True Chicago Sports Fans Podcast with E-Roc and Big-Z.
Yeah.
Are you ready for some football?
Yes, we are.
It's time for some Bears talk. This is 3 and Out.
Boom is correct.
Woo, baby. Hey,
That score was boom.
that
Shit.
score, let me tell you something. So, Josh Allen did not play in this game, and the Buffalo Bills, led by quarterback Mitch Trubisky.
Who? I think I know this guy.
Mitchell Trubisky beat the shit out of the Bears last Saturday, 41-15. Trubisky ended up going 20 for 28 with 221 yards and a touchdown. No one really cares what Andy Dalton did, but here it is anyway. He went 11 for 17 with 146 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 pick. The new kid, Justin Fields, came in after that and really didn't exactly come out on fire. He finished 9 for 19 for only 80 yards.
He's a rookie. You're not going to see a linear projection of him going to superstardom all the way up and not mess up. He's going to have some bad games. He's a rookie.
It's not even a bad game because
No, it's not a bad game, but I'm just saying.
Preseason. It sucks. Everyone sucks in preseason.
But he had a good game the first time. That's what everyone's like, oh my God, he's great. He should start right away. It's like, pump your brakes, bro.
Exactly.
Pump your brakes.
Because now we're already cueing the overreaction. I've already seen people saying that Justin Fields is a bust. It's preseason.
How?
I don't understand.
How is he a
Because
bust?
people are dumb. You guys stop being dumb. Okay?
It's
preseason. I'm still the fire Nagy. I mean, like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I do think Nagy's got a clock ticking down. I don't.
For what? For what?
I know what you're gonna say. You're gonna say he has had a losing season. He's been 8 for 8 for a couple seasons.
This is the other problem too. Is that I'm gonna bring it right back to Jay Cutler. Because what happened to him is that he was here for 9 seasons.
And never had continuity in the coaching staff.
Consistency whatsoever.
No.
So even the Packers, when they had Mike McCarthy, even when they weren't doing that great, even when they were having 500 seasons and the Bears had them little spikes here and there, what did they do? They stuck with their staff.
But Mike McCarthy had won a Super Bowl, so you write that.
But you understand what I'm saying? But okay,
I do understand what you're saying.
Sean Payton, like a lot of these coaches, you have continuity.
Sean Payton won a Super Bowl as well.
Now he did, but you know what I mean.
Well,
like
he did then.
But they kept him for years and years
afterwards.
Before he even got to the Super Bowl. He was with the team for a long time before they won a Super Bowl. Him and Drew Brees were together for a long, long time. Okay,
I think it took 5 years to win a Super Bowl with them, or is it longer?
Whatever. I don't remember exactly. I don't remember the exact number.
It was Katrina, the Katrina year, whatever that year was.
Yeah. Well, Katrina was 05.
So, yeah.
Did they win in 05? No.
That was the year they won.
So. No,
it was the year after.
Yeah, because
they shut down the whole stadium. I remember that. So
because you got to remember the 05-06 season was when the Bears and the Colts played, and then the Colts lost. I want to say maybe the Colts lost to the Saints, and then the Colts came back and beat the Bears. But remember when the Bears went to the Super Bowl that year? That was the year that Reggie Bush had that run back, and the Bears won the NFC title game against them.
So Saints 2010.
There you go. So so much further along. Okay. So that's my point, is that you when you keep upsetting the apple cart and you can't figure out, well, how come we can't win? Well, stop you have a very, very good defense. Now, that's the biggest part because this defense is getting older.
Right.
They don't have Kyle Fuller anymore. Eddie Jackson was very strong before, but he's not been the greatest right now.
Because the secondary is weak.
The secondary is weak because
so you have no help.
But you got Jalen Johnson, who you're expecting to step up, and you got Roquan Smith, who is a star in the making. But you also, what's going on with Khalil Mack? What's going on with Robert Quinn? Okay, that's the biggest thing because you have to realize that your defense, the window for this good defense that's been very, very good, is starting to go away.
It is starting to dwindle down. I would give it maybe 3 years before that. You got to re-up the entire defense.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is that they've been doing a good job of filling in gaps, filling in pieces because, again, Eddie Jackson's only been in the league for a couple years. You're looking at Hicks. Mack is still relatively young, but Quinn is a guy that they picked up off the scrap heap. You also got Ogletree, who they brought in this year.
Right.
So they've done a good job of putting players in place to do what you expect them to do as far as yep, I know what your pedigree is. I know what you're good at. And this is, I expect good results out of these guys.
And they also have their third coordinator in 3 years.
Because Pagano was there for 2 years.
Oh, was he there for 2 years?
Because and you can't fault them for that because Fangio got the opportunity. He finally got the opportunity to become a head coach at 6 years old. But they changed the system. He changed the system. He changed the system when he came in, and they went from a 4-3 to a 3-4.
Right.
So that was his thing. You got Leonard Floyd. You know what I mean? So they've been plugging in these players. Someone was laughing at the convention yesterday talking about Leonard Floyd. I'm like, Leonard Floyd is a successful NFL player. I don't understand what the problem is.
No.
But here's the thing. When we talk about Matt Nagy's job and if he's safe if the Bears are smart. Because they have a brand new quarterback, and like I said before, they really don't want to do what they did to Jay Cutler, throwing a new system at him every couple of years if they don't succeed right away. So our boy Tony,
out
in Vegas, he's already giving me a hard time. He's like, get rid of Nagy. I was like, Nagy, you only been here for a couple of years. Slow your roll. Let's get some consistency. You feel like was Mitch the problem or was Nagy the problem?
We're about to find out.
And that was the big thing that we heard about that too. Well, I guess Mitch wasn't a problem after all. Mitch wasn't a problem in one preseason game against the rest of the bums. I mean, stop it. Stop it. Slap yourself. You're saying nonsense.
It's preseason. Everybody's overreacting.
Yep.
Just like Ali Iverson said, practice.
Yeah.
You're talking about practice.
And that's what preseason is.
Exactly. It's practice.
It's practice for the coaches. It's practice for the players. It's practice for the refs.
And you're evaluating players, individual players at different positions because you got to cut your roster down.
Yep.
So you're not going to have your starters out there in game time, in irregular positions because you got to give the other 75 guys you have on the field, hey, let me see if this guy's going to make it or not.
Absolutely.
That's what it is.
You have to evaluate, and you're putting in play hey, high leverage situation. I would never put you in this position.
But let's see what you got.
But let's see what you got in a preseason game. Can you step up?
Yeah, Petey, can you play defense now?
So I mean, look. We're having a lot. We're hearing a lot of talk about should Andy Dalton start? Should Fields start? Look,
it's Andy Dalton's game position for him to lose.
Right. And
if he stinks it up, then you got to go young.
He should start it's to start the season at least.
Yeah.
And here's one scenario that Sylvia actually brought up during the fantasy football convention during their crosstalk unhinged portion. Right?
He retweeted a couple tweets of mine today, this morning. Look at that.
Cool guy.
Yeah,
cool
thanks,
guy.
thanks, Sylvie.
Humble brag. Hey. So, would you rather the Bears go 11-6 with Dalton at the helm and go to the playoffs, or start Justin Fields, go 6-11, but Fields shows promise and he has some experience now?
All right, let me break this down for you knuckleheads out there. This means that the Red Rifle is guaranteed a playoff game.
Yes.
So the first game of the playoffs is what's guaranteed.
Right. You're guaranteed to make the playoffs.
Right, so you get one game.
Not do you think he's going to make it. Here is the scenario.
You get to one playoff game.
You get 11-6, and this is your you
have a shot. You get a shot at the chip.
Or go 6-11 with Justin, and he had a great progression in this.
Right.
Blah blah blah.
At the end of the day, you want a winning season, or do you want a losing season?
Right.
I'm going to take the winning season 10 out of 10 times.
You always take the playoffs.
Yes.
Always.
You never know what's
the playoffs.
And I think you said this at the convention. Just like the NBA, you had two teams that had never been Well, actually, the Suns have been there, but you have two teams that are new to get to the NBA Finals in the last 20 years. Because it's been the Lakers or Golden State.
Everyone was talking about the Nets.
Yeah. So you had all these favorites who didn't make it, and it was because of injuries. Oh, because it doesn't matter. I got there because I got there.
Who in their right mind thought that we would see the Phoenix Suns versus the Milwaukee Bucks in the NBA Finals this season?
Never.
With the way that the Nets loaded up and you got KD healthy,
right.
The way that the Lakers loaded up again,
yep.
The way that the Clips were loaded.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Look at Jamal Murray getting injured. So
right.
there was so many steps, so many things that had to happen in order for those two teams to make it to the NBA Finals. And I say that to say this: all you need is a chip and a chair. You're in the tournament. Anything can happen. It's NFL football. There's a reason why they say any given Sunday. So you take your chance and you get in there and see what happens.
Yeah, that's what you have to do. So, yeah, give me the 11-6 with the red rifle.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no way that's not the move. You know what I mean? I think what happens is there's so much overreaction because you're so
it's ridiculous
desperate and so thirsty, and that's not what a good organization does.
You don't panic.
You do. Yeah, exactly, and that's the big thing. We got, and to be fair, I mean, I would say out of all different sports that we watch, American sports,
right,
the biggest meatheads are football fans.
Yeah.
You know, and we were talking about it at the convention as well. And, you know, when I'm sitting there laser focused about what's going on, and, you know, hey, that's his team. I love baseball. I love basketball. But nothing gets my blood going like the NFL.
This is true, ladies and gentlemen.
And that's just what it is, because I don't know if it's because there's less games where every single play is so much more important. But, I mean, I can watch the Cubs be crappy and be like, okay, well, they're going to play again tomorrow.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You got way more give.
It's a sprint
Right.
instead of the marathon, which is baseball and
Right.
basketball and hockey. Yeah, definitely.
So, I mean, that's the biggest thing. And I got to say, stick to the game plan. I think they're going to have a really good opportunity to show what they can do as long as they stay consistent, as long as on both sides of the ball they do not panic, because for all intents and purposes,
right,
even though we know Bill Lazor is the offensive coordinator,
that's where I was going to ask you.
We know who's calling the plays.
I was just about to ask you that. Are you happy that Nagy has the clip? Oh no, not the clipboard. The Denny's menu back in his hands.
A lot of people are already calling for his head because, you know, the next man up is always the most popular, just like the backup quarterback is always the most popular man in the room.
Yeah.
But this man, we got to remember, is that this is his first head coaching gig. This is Ryan Pace's first shot at being a GM. You're not going to be perfect right out the gate.
No.
And I think we're seeing better consistency, at least out of Pace, as far as
his picks have been a lot better.
Yeah.
He really doesn't have a lot of picks that drop off the face of the earth. He has more hits than misses.
Yeah.
So
and even like I said, a guy like Leonard Floyd, who, you know, didn't pan out here after some injuries. They didn't want to give him more money after his rookie contract. So we went
that's
on
a
to the
smart
Rams.
move. You're not going to do that.
But he went on to the Rams, and he had a good season, and they gave him a contract, and that's how the NFL works.
But that's on Floyd. That is not on Pace.
No, but
Floyd went out there and
saying
busted his ass and said,
Right.
"I need a contract. I want to get paid. I'm gonna bust my ass." It's
But
simple.
what I'm saying is that people gave Pace a hard time about Leonard Floyd because he was like, well, he was a skinny kid, this and that. His rookie campaign, he had a very good season, and then from then he wasn't able to recover. But he also came into the season a couple years ago having a club on his hand, and that means that he can't lift weights.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there's a lot of different factors there, but he is still a solid NFL player. So even Mitch Trubisky is a solid NFL player, but he's not worthy of a number 2 overall pick, and that's when people lose their minds.
Yeah.
There's circumstance involved here.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not his fault. He was picked number 2.
So now, let me ask you a question though, because
Sure.
one thing that people were really talking about is it appropriate, or was it good, or would you have, put it that way? We look at it as a lot of different ways.
Right.
If you were at that Bears game, are you gonna boo Mitch Trubisky?
No.
For what?
Why?
You know what I mean? Yeah. For what? Why would you do that?
I don't think that a lot of the stuff that was going on was his fault.
No.
You have the laser show. You have Nagy. You know, Nagy's got the Denny's menu. Like, have you been to Denny's? Like, when they put them, there's like 47 pages of food. Like, I don't know what I want no more.
And I'm just waiting for him to pull out that Rudy Duty Fresh and Fruity
and that's usually,
down the left.
And that's usually what I order. The Rudy Duty Fresh and Fruity. Put that smiley face on there. You know what I'm saying? That's usually what I order because, you know, I want bacon and pancakes. But again, he didn't, when I say he, I mean Nagy didn't use Trubisky's strengths all the time.
What Nagy did every time he stepped up to the plate is tell you that I don't like Mitch.
Yeah.
I figured out I don't like Mitch because when you watch this kid come back early in the season twice and come back to win, and in the third game of the season when you're down, you panic and put in Nick Foles, that's telling me right away, you just watch this kid come back twice and win the game for you, and you were like, no, you can't. I'm not going to give you a chance to do it again. What? Why? You've already decided. You already decided that he is not your guy because you went and traded for Nick Foles.
Yeah,
you traded for Nick Foles,
and that was his boy.
Think Trubisky was going to be the dude,
right? And that was his boy. And now we're paying this dude tens of millions of dollars.
Which is, I mean, look, again,
nothing against Foles. I mean, get your money, boy.
Mistakes are made.
Oh yeah,
you know, but that's how you learn. Mistakes are not a bad thing. So, everyone needs mistakes so you can learn from them.
So at the end of last year, you know, the whole press conference, because that's the only time Pace will talk to everybody is at the end of the year. He's like, oh, yeah, we have continuity and collaboration. That was a big word, collaboration. We collaborate this and this and that. The collaboration between Nagy and Pace to get Foles, I'm pretty sure soured the GM of saying, you wanted this dude, and I traded for him, and he's a fucking bust. Now I can't take your recommendations as serious.
But by the same token, you're also talking about the guy that signed Mike Glennon. You know what I mean? So what legs do you have to stand on if you're going to talk about that? The point is that sometimes you got to swing and sometimes you miss, and that's just what it is. Mm-hmm. So we want everything to be perfect all the time, but we don't. We're at a point in time where we are so impatient that we don't want to give people a chance to actually develop. How did Mike Tomlin end up in the same position forever and ever? And Sean Payton. And you know how many times that Bill Belichick got fired from the NFL before he became the best NFL head coach of all time?
3 times, I think.
He got fired from the Browns. I think he was on the Jets. Like, he has been around a couple times. So even look at Pete Carroll. He was in the NFL years ago, went to go coach in college and came back after the scandals started popping up. They're like, hey, maybe you want to get out of here. But that's neither here nor there. The point is that this is a guy who's in his first shot. So at least give him the opportunity to figure out his mistakes and learn from them and come back. We're going to see a lot of what he's learned and what he hasn't learned in this season. We really have to watch out about the way that they evaluate Andy Dalton, because just bringing in Justin Fields in Game 3 is a panic move.
You can't go back and forth.
No, once you make the decision, and Nick Foles got hurt, so Mitch had to come back, and Mitch actually played pretty well when he was back.
Yeah.
But that gap in the middle of the season when Nick Foles was a starter was a complete and total disaster.
Atrocious.
You cannot do that. And again, you basically say, Mitch, I don't like you, and I think Mitch is going to be fine.
He will be.
I think Mitch is going to be fine in this league. I think Mitch might end up being a guy like Ryan Fitzpatrick, where he's never spectacular, but he plays for 27 years.
He's going to have 4 games this season where he just lights it up, and the rest is going to be mediocre.
Yeah, and he's going to be right down the middle. But guess what?
But mediocre is 1,000 times better than everybody who's listening and everybody who is in the studio right now.
100%.
So
100. Wait. I mean, you never see me play quarterback. Saying you never seen me play quarterback.
I mean, you got big forearms.
I do. I've been working out.
There you go, I bet.
Working out, not working one out, sir. Thank you. All right, y'all, let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back after word from our sponsor. We all know that 2020 was no joke, and with an ever-changing world climate, many people are looking for a new opportunity. Guys, are you looking for a career that rewards effort and makes you feel valued as a team member? Let me tell you a little about our friends at ACSI. ACSI is a certified RCN business agent. They provide the same RCN services with a personalized touch. Their sales and technician teams work hand in hand, ensuring your experience will be smooth and pleasant. Gone are the days of being transferred from one person to the next. At ACSI, they handle everything from start to finish. It's never been so easy to get internet service. ACSI is a growing Chicagoland company that encourages personal growth and rewards perseverance. As they expand, they're looking for passionate, responsible, and honest professionals to join their team. A career with ACSI means you will be part of a hardworking, flexible, and dynamic team that is a leader in the installation of cable and internet services in the Chicagoland area. Best of all, ACSI was awarded Hacia's 2020 Contractor of the Year Award. Are you ready to grow with a local Chicago company on the rise? Check out acsi.tech and click on careers to get started. That's acsi.tech and click on careers.
Hey, true Chicago sports fans, show off your Chicago pride with some fresh clothes from Grit Clothing Company. At Grit Clothing, they create that simple yet classic style that represents that Chicago Southside lifestyle. From t-shirts to hoodies, hats to glassware, they've got you covered. Grit has everything you need to represent your Chicago pride, so do it right now. Check out gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15.
TrueFan15.
For 15% off your entire order. Let me say it again. That's gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off of your entire order.
Welcome back to the True Chicago Sports Fans Podcast with E-Roc and Big-Z.
Yeah.
Time to touch bases with our baseball teams. This is 3 Up and 3 Down.
I think I'll perplex him with my slow ball.
1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out.
Yo, E, are you watching the South Bend Cubbies?
I am not. I don't know where these guys are from, but it ain't Chicago. They're playing KC right now, and they've already given up 16 runs. And to be fair, it is the ninth, so I mean, you know, that's only a couple of runs.
I mean, it's expected. You have a lot of guys that are from the minor leagues, and they're trying to do their best, and a couple kids are doing well. Wisdom has been a bright spot this year, not today, but he's been a bright spot for you guys.
No, Wisdom has definitely been a bright spot. You got a couple of guys here. Keegan Thompson has been another guy.
Yep.
Michael Hermosillo.
Yes.
The lifelong Cubs fan that got his shot. So, I mean, I will say that I would much rather see some of these new guys come in,
Get their shot.
and see what they got. Give them this second half of the season.
Yeah.
Kind of work out some of the kinks, you know, not just a cup of coffee. You can have the whole pot. And, you know, Bryant and Rizzo and Baez, we love you, but you guys were just doing the same thing over and over. And a lot of Cubs fans are still feeling that sting. They're like, oh, this is unwatchable, man. I watched a lot of shit Cubs baseball, so I mean, I don't know what y'all thought this was, but this is part of the process.
Yeah.
You got to see what you got.
A lot of Cubs fans are reacting to all this because, or just like they've never seen the Cubs go through growing pains and losing season. Like, bro,
Because these guys just started being fans. That's what
that
it is.
was exactly what my point's going to be.
It's all these bandwagon fans.
Yes.
Like, you broke my heart, Anthony Rizzo. He's not dead, man. Calm down.
Like, yeah.
Anyway, so the Cubs had a few moves that they made. First, they designated Dan Winkler for assignment, and then they just cut his ass because he sucked.
Who?
Yeah, that guy.
Was he on Happy Days?
They also designated John C. Fargas for assignment. They brought back Keegan Thompson, who I just talked about. Nico Horner's finally getting a rehab assignment. He's been out for quite a while. He's going to start soon. Going to play shortstop when he comes up. So there's a little bit of movement here. But again, these are just their standard moves. Guys coming back from injury, and you know we'll see how it works out. But the biggest thing that we're seeing right now is pitching is everything, and
Yes, it is.
We knew that coming into the season. One of the things that people love to talk about was the fact that they got rid of Yu Darvish from the beginning of the season. Well, he hasn't been good. He had one good year on the north side, so let's calm down about that. So
It wasn't really that's not what bothered me about the Cubs. What bothered me is that they didn't get a better package.
for a 32-year-old guy who had one good season up here, and he's been mediocre.
Again, you're only going only going on based on what his last year was. Really, well, that's how baseball is.
That's yeah. You know what I mean? Like I would say football is more like that than anything, because you can see a guy get a great year and all of a sudden they give him a bunch of money and they were like, wait a minute.
I think if they would have held on to him a little bit longer, they would have got something for him.
I mean,
They got Zach Davies, who just gives up meatballs.
yeah. Again, you're talking about a guy that's not quite young. You know what I mean? We're not talking about a 28 or 27-year-old guy. We're talking about a guy that we know exactly what he is. And the Padres going all in this year, they thought that was one of their guys. Now, last week, we talked about the Cubs releasing one of my favorite players, Jake Arrieta. Mm-hmm. And, it didn't take him too long to find a new home.
Wonder where?
The pitching-deprived San Diego Padres scooped him up and started him. For some reason, they expected different results than what we saw all year on the north side. So now they got Arrieta and Darvish.
Well, I think Darvish is on the IL, but yeah, there was no difference in changing uniforms. He still pitched like shit.
No, he's
done.
Again, man, you're done. But and you know what they did? So he made his first start as a Padre last Wednesday at Coors Field. He allowed 5 runs over 3.5 innings against the Rocks before departing due to a hamstring issue that landed him on the IL.
Okay, hamstring. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, sure.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Was it the weight of carrying around his ego? Is that what happened?
It must have been a bunch of all that CrossFit he does.
Well, he needs to cross that shit off his list because he forgot how to pitch in the process. I don't know what's going on with him, but so we do have some good news about the Chicago Cubs.
There we go.
Because the Cubs will face the Cincinnati Reds next year at the Field of Dreams site. They're going to play a regular season game August 11, 2022. And we're very familiar with the Field of Dreams.
Yes, we are.
One thing that I didn't even realize until we actually started watching that game is that the field that you see in the movie is not the field they play on. It's too small.
No.
So they had to build a whole new venue and stadium.
Yeah,
so that was pretty
it's
sweet.
a huge complex now. There's like a bunch of fields. There's like Little League fields around there. There's the main field and then the stadium.
When you see the overhead,
yes.
you see them. So here's my question to you. I saw a lot of people, especially White Sox fans, this should only be for the White Sox.
No.
Why would you blah, 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 blah.
Let's stop all that bullshit right now, okay? First of all, it was an amazing game, an amazing story. You can write a movie just based on that game right there.
That at bat.
Yeah, that at bat, Now, it's just like the NHL Winter Classic.
That's what we said last week.
It's going to move around and have different teams. It's not always going to be the Blackhawks. The Blackhawks were there because they're the historic franchise.
Yeah.
They're one of the top 8, first 8, whatever it's called.
Original 6.
Original 6, that's what it's called. Yeah, okay. So the White Sox were referenced in the movie, and that's why they had the White Sox.
Yeah, and the White Sox and the Yankees, they're like, those are the only 2 teams that should ever play in the Field of Dreams.
No.
I'm like, you need to keep fucking dreaming because you're a dumbass.
No. You do this every year with different teams, and what I would say is you look at the teams that are going to be good, and I wouldn't make this announcement until the end of the year or the beginning of the next season.
I think they're just trying to drum up interest early.
Yeah,
you know
because
you're only talking about. Remember, they only have 8,000 seats in that whole stadium.
Right. Yeah.
So how do you drive up prices and we'll make it desirable? And that's the thing too.
And the Cub fans are going to go out there regardless of what the record is.
100%.
Because they're fans.
But again, the Iowa Cubs play out there, so they are going to have their fan base out there. Now, to be fair, the Reds are going to act as the home team, but who cares? Like, it's still a cool.
The Reds can be in Cincinnati and the Cubs can show up and they're not the home team.
Right.
Let's be honest there.
So the funny thing is that you think about some of the guys that are going to be up there swinging at bat, and one guy that you mentioned, you think is going to have quite a few.
Oh yeah, but Joey Votto is going to have like 7 home runs this game. I mean, it's going to be. People don't understand. There is no stadium. There's just like it looks like bleacher seats in a gym.
Yeah.
That's how much people are sitting. The wind, once you put that ball into the atmosphere, there's nothing holding it back. Just like in a stadium, there's wind shifts and all this stuff. It's wide open country field. If you put it out there, it is going.
Yes. There's no. Yeah. You don't have the weird wind or anything.
No. It's going straight out.
Yeah. Look, watching it on TV, it was an amazing event, amazing game to watch. Storybook ending. We, of course, for my team, I want that as well.
Right.
You're never going to be able to really replicate the way that not just the game itself.
But the whole presentation of it.
Well, you can do that every year, but what
Kevin Costner's not coming out every year.
No, but I mean like them coming out of the
cornfield.
cornfield.
Yeah.
Whatever. But what I'm saying is that as a whole, it was the very first one. You had two contending teams. You had, the potential game, a ton of home runs, the potential game-winning home runs towards the end of the game with the Yankees, and then the White Sox making the comeback and kicking it off. You know what I mean? So you're never gonna get a game quite as special as that game.
No, it's just like your first love. You ain't gonna get that first this, your first kiss, your first that. You're not gonna get that anymore. After that, it's like, oh, I'm familiar with it. So
Right.
you're gonna be desensitized a little bit.
Right.
So
Right.
guess what? It's still gonna be special.
And you're still talking about two franchises who've been playing each other for like 150 years.
Right.
The Cubs and the Reds, I want to say, have the most matchups in MLB history, which is why they brought the Reds. Everyone's like, to me, naturally, it would have been the Cubs just because of the Iowa Cubs, the proximity, and then, but for their,
I thought it would have been against the Cardinals
yeah,
because of the rivalry.
I get that, but they've played more games against the Reds than any other team in history, so that's where that comes in. And it's
why
just,
not revive some history? I would say, hey,
Yeah.
these two teams have been playing for over 150 years.
Right. It's the same thing with like Bears and Packers. I mean, they've been playing each other forever and ever and ever. But I'm excited as a Cubs fan. I feel like over the past few years, we got used to being winners.
Yes.
So everyone got spoiled from that, and now they're like, well, why would you even put him in there? Because it's what you do. People forgot that you don't have to win the World Series every year to enjoy your team.
No.
I know what the goal is, and you have to have realistic expectations of your team every single season. Any Cubs fan who thought that they were going to win the World Series this year was fooling themselves. And I kept saying before, this is the last chance for romance with this squad.
You did say that.
And I did.
And you said let it right out. And I was like,
I said if you're 5 games below, write it out. If you're 10 games below, you gotta let them go.
No one expected them to lose 10 straight.
No one expected them to lose that many games in a row with that roster.
With that roster, right.
And that's where
That was a final straw on the camel's back.
And
yeah.
like I said, they just went through another 10-game, 11-game, 12-game losing streak. And you're like, well, look what they did. Well, they did the same shit when they had all the guys that you're crying about now. So
yeah, but that streak was with all the new guys who are coming up from AA, single A, triple A. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you don't care about that. You're looking at development now.
Correctamundo. You are absolutely correct on that. 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 And that will be the last time I ever say that on the show. So
I am
now,
so cutting that and keeping it.
now that we're talking about shit that's just wrong, Z, what's going on the South Side?
White Sox! White Sox! Go, go, White Sox! Let's go, 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 White Sox!
Oh boy, the White Sox. Oh, the White Sox are not doing so well right now. They're 4-6, including today's game. Today's Sunday. In their last 10 games as of today. It's bad.
Yeah, it's making your head spin.
It sure is. So why I believe in La Russa, and I haven't said that a lot this year, as he spits out his beer. La Russa has done a great job this season with not having a full team, not having a team at full strength all year.
I don't think their starting lineup, like
Has not
as
played.
intended,
Has not played one game.
One
Nope.
whole game this
Nope,
season.
not at all. So my question is, are the dog days of summer catching up with the White Sox as it did in 2005, or is La Russa being a mastermind by resting certain players here and there with a 10-game lead?
Why wouldn't you rest the guys? What do you gain the benefit? I mean, I know you want that number 1 seed, you want the home field.
You want the home field advantage, but there's still time for that. There's plenty of time.
Hey, you're going to want to rest your guys, but a lot of things, one thing you got to take into consideration is that they have not been good on the road.
No, but I looked up the last 6-7 World Series winners have below 500 records versus teams that have winning records.
Okay, that's
So that's just a trend.
these are like anomaly statistics though, because you can apply. I can.
You can manipulate numbers. That's what baseball is. You're manipulating numbers
right
there.
Right. But like, did you know that guys that wear size 12 shoes normally have a longer left knee than the right knee?
And step on a 3-point line and a miss a shot.
Yo, I think that was size like 11D. I don't know what size that was. That big. Anyway, but that's going to be my biggest concern. Is number 1, your road record, and number two, your record against winning teams, like you just said.
Yeah, that does concern me. That's always been a concerning thing all year long. But they played the Athletics. And that was a winning team. And they got 3 out of 4. I think right now Tony's like, okay, you have aches and pains. Take a day off here and there. Tim Anderson didn't play for 2 straight games.
Yeah,
I don't like that because he's the leader. He's kind of like
what I'm seeing is a lot of White Sox fans saying that you're basically just taking the weekend off. And I mean, by resting 1 or 2 players, you can take the weekend off. But just like you previously said, they haven't been at full strength with their intended roster all season, and they've been getting it done. So if you're giving guys a break, other guys got to step it up.
Yeah.
You got Lou Bob back, okay? You got Eloy back, okay? These are the guys. Grandal's coming back soon, and he's going to catch.
Yep.
He's going to be in there. You can love Zebby all you want, but he's going to play.
I don't love Zebby at all. He can't catch a cold. He can't catch water if he fell out of a boat.
Who loves you, baby?
That's right. Speaking of full strength, Grandal, as he continues to rehab back from injury, he's going to be back sometime next week. Thank God. Yep. This is great news. Nice to see him back. While he's in the minors, he's been doing very well. He got off to a good start in his first game back in AAA with the Charlotte Knights. He looked like he was ready to be back in a White Sox uniform. He went 3 for 3 with a double, a home run, and an RBI. So a great night for him. It looks like he is like superhuman and healing super fast.
Look, you guys need him back.
We do. He's the leader behind the plate.
When I'm coaching catchers in particular, I always remind them, look, you're the only one, aside from the batter, that can see the whole field. You know where the ball's going. You got to be loud. You have to be able to dictate, and you got to be a leader.
Yeah.
Okay? It's really important. Look at when the Cubs won the World Series, who was behind the plate? Rossi. And who did he help to bring up? Now, they had their struggles because they butted heads a bit, but he brought up Contreras.
Yes, he did.
You know what I mean? So if you're going to have one guy on your team that is going to help you lead the rest of the team, it's going to be your catcher.
And before he went down, he started hitting again, even though prior to that, he was leading the league in walks with a below 200 average.
Yeah. So I mean,
it didn't matter because he was still getting on base.
Which the White Sox do not like to do.
No, they like to run the first. All right, on some good news, Jason Benetti and Steve Stone were voted best MLB broadcast team by a Twitter poll of over 300,000 votes.
Thanks, Cubs.
We know on both sides of town what Steve Stone is. We love him on both sides of town. Him with Harry Carey for a long time. Him with the Hawk, who I didn't like, but he's part of White Sox history. And now Jason Benetti, coming into that role. I mean, you can't.
People don't like change, and you've alluded to this over and over on this podcast that people do not like change.
No.
Oh, you can't change this. You know what? Jason Benetti's doing the best he can, and he's being himself.
Yeah, and he's got a great voice.
He does.
He's got a face for radio, but he's got a great voice.
No, yes, he does. Yes, I agree with that. But the issue is like, oh, I don't want to do Sox math. That's because you're fucking dumb.
Yeah.
And you only know second grade math, you asshole. If you want, it's fun. People are getting into it, and guess what? When you win, you get to film a little video and send it in, and then you kick it off back to them. Guess what? You just got your 30 seconds of fame.
Why you got to take shots at my math skills, though?
As long as it's not Common Core math, that fucking bullshit.
I don't mind Common Core.
Yeah.
I honestly,
you like it.
I liked Common Core because it's more analytical versus just memorization. And to me, that it just was easier to comprehend without having to sit there and like I said, memorization versus critical thinking was more important to me.
I get that, and I'm more for math. I was super memorizing. You have to memorize your timetables and all that shit.
And that's my point is that
timetables can only get you so far.
Yeah, and you're just remembering things.
But timetables can only get you so far. Once you have to put formulas in there, it's completely different.
That's a whole different
ballgame. Yeah,
ballgame.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, like, I would say, like, it's funny because the way that I already figured things out in my head, when I saw a Common Core coming down the pipeline, I'm like, I've been doing this shit for years in my own head.
Right. But here's my problem with it, is that teaching, there's no one way to teach something.
No, I agree with that, but I think that's the whole point of the Common Core was that it's the most common way for young minds to be able to break down and interpret things. instead of, again, memorization, because some kids' memories are better than others. You know, you remember in like second grade or third grade, you had the 2-minute sheet for the times tables or whatever.
I killed.
Yeah, and it's just memorization. And that's the thing, is that you can remember things all the time, but how do you critically think about what it is?
But there's nothing to critically think about when it comes to 9 times 9, bro.
And that's
Memorization.
Memorization is a part of it, but that's the problem, is that, like, for example, when someone would say 18 plus 18 or 18 times 2, and I'm like, in my head, I wouldn't be like, all right, 18 is this. No, you know what I automatically do? 20 plus 20 minus 4.
And that's fine.
And that's Common Core.
It is. But you memorize
That's Common Core.
But they want you to write. They want you to write that shit down.
But I physically took the 18 in my head, rounded that. What's the next 10th? Okay.
Yes, you can do that.
So I had to break it down step by step by step, and that's.
But you did it in your head.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But you can do that on paper too, but that's
what I'm
teaching
saying.
you how to do it in your head.
That's neither here nor there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was your educational report for the week. All right, White Sox fans, we have another series against the Cubs this weekend. Yes, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the G-Spot. Hope you can find it. I will be there this Friday.
That's why there's no fans. No one can find it.
Stop it. We've been averaging over 30,000.
Yeah.
Speaking of fans, Tampa Bay had 26,000 for a 4-game series. For the entire 4-game series. So I don't want to hear it.
It's utterly embarrassing. They need to move.
They need to move that team.
I think they're going to move to like Vegas.
That would be
or
amazing.
Like Nashville.
Either one.
Or Louisville. When you make the bets.
That would be amazing because they're all drivable.
It's ridiculous.
Yes. All right, so I'll be at the G-Spot this Friday, so come out and say hi.
So you say.
Stupid.
You can't find it.
Well, they're going to find it. I'll be there. I'll drop a pin. Giving out educational classes on how to find it. All right, so if you're looking forward to this, E, are you looking forward to this series, or yay or nay?
I don't care. I don't, man. Here's
Even when the teams suck, you usually are into it.
Look, I mean, I'll put it on because it's Cubs Sox. You know what I mean? Like, to me, at this point, I just look at it as like it deprived me of one extra baseball game for that day. I don't get a Cubs game and I don't get a White Sox game. I have to watch Cubs versus Sox. And there's no fun when one team is bad. You see,
No, there really isn't.
You know what I mean? And like, look at what we did against the Cubs last year. I was like,
yeah, I get
cares?
it. Like when you guys were good and we took, you guys never swept us. We always took one.
Right.
So we're like, oh yeah, we beat the Cubs. Like, it doesn't matter.
No.
It really doesn't matter. You still suck for the rest of the year.
And it
goes on both sides.
And we talked about it. We talked about this before. It's so meaningless. It's just like I said. Well, the laundry on the team that's closer to the house that I grew up in is different than yours, so I hate you. Who the fuck cares, man? You're not in the same division. It doesn't matter, guys. I mean, to be fair, we all know that White Sox fans are going to be chirping because they're going to win. We all know it's like knowing the outcome. It's not the Cubs are being blown out. Like today's game was 9-1, 17-1. It's guys that are getting their first taste in the league. They don't even know what this rivalry means.
No.
They don't care.
No, not at all.
You think Rizzo would care going against the Mets right now? I mean, yeah, because Javi's there, but do you think Rizzo would really care about a crosstown or a Subway Series?
No, he's not vested yet.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, who? And neither are any of these guys that just came up.
No.
I mean, White Sox can throw all the bats they want. It's fine. You guys are going to win. Good for you. It still has no bearing on yours. And here's the thing. It will be way more embarrassing for you guys if you lost one of those 3 games.
Yes, agreed.
You know what I mean? So that's what you got to be concerned about.
Yeah, it is good. So, Tony, don't rest anybody.
You might as well. I mean, hey, unless you're afraid of Frank Schwindel. Yeah.
Frank the Tank? Yeah. I'm afraid of Frank the Tank. I've seen the movie.
They had to give him a one size bigger shirt just to put the damn letters on the back there. Are you serious?
Hey, Mom, the meatloaf. Different movie, but it's all right. All right, let's take a pause for the cause and hear a word from our sponsors.
Oh, well, there's strikes 2 and 3 right there.
You are absolutely correct on that.
I think I'll perplex him with my slow ball.
1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out.
Thanks, Cubs! Hey, true Chicago sports fans, show off your Chicago pride with some fresh clothes from Grit Clothing Company. At Grit Clothing, they create that simple yet classic style that represents that Chicago Southside lifestyle. From t-shirts to hoodies, hats to glassware, they've got you covered. Grit has everything you need to represent your Chicago pride. So do it right now. Check out gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15.
TrueFan15
for 15% off your entire order. Let me say it again. That's gritclothingco.com and use the promo code TrueFan15 for 15% off of your entire order.
Welcome back to the True Chicago Sports Fans Podcast with E-Roc and Big-Z. It's not even in there, but I'm going to say it anyways.
I am still here.
That's right. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. It's that time again, brother.
Uh-oh.
It's time for Stirring the Pot.
Oh, boy. we messed that up. So, stirring the pot.
Stirring the Pot.
So, I ripped this one straight from ESPN.
Oh, boy.
Thanks, ESPN. Yeah, so this is a topic that Wado and Sylvia have been talking about for quite some time, and I thought it was appropriate since we're running out of food to talk about, at least for the end of the summer.
That's right. So your pumpkin spice.
Extra spicy.
Extra spicy.
All right, so like I said, this is straight from the show, so don't sue us. It's just a topic.
It's just a topic. They can't sue us.
And they talked about this with everybody, so I'm dropping the hammer
for
right here.
4 hours.
I'm dropping the hammer in a very literal sense here.
Thank God you have clothes on.
All right. So,
yeah.
You jump in the shower.
Yes, sir.
You pop your shower beer.
Yes, sir.
Chug that real quick.
Yep.
Now you got to take a piss.
Yeah.
Are you pissing in the shower or you getting out?
I'm pissing in the shower.
You disgusting motherfucker.
Why? I'm not pissing on my toes or anything. I'm pissing right to the drain.
Yeah.
I got great aim.
That's where your feet is.
No.
Right next to the drain.
You face the drain and pee into the drain. I have great aim. Just want to say that.
No kids, right?
Yeah, exactly. My game is strong, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, it's going straight into the drain, and then the water that's hitting me is pushing any residual back into the drain.
So you're pissing directly into the drain, and then you're using your own dirty body water to flush it down.
That's right. That is right. There's no way.
I got a toilet in your house.
I have tile.
Right there.
I have tile floor. If I step on that tile wet, I'm gonna bust my neck.
If your aim was that good, you could hit the toilet from the shower. Boom!
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the new Bozo Show.
Undefeated.
Negative. You're telling. Wait, first of all, your shower right here. You're telling. Well, obviously, you get out. Like, there's no one. It's just way different.
Mm-hmm.
I have a tub, a tile, like one of those tubs.
But you also don't have all women roaming around your house either.
You have your personal shower and personal bathroom here. I don't want to hear that shit. I step onto this big ass tile, this literal tile. It's just crazy. You step on it wet, you're gonna slip and bust your neck, bro. I'm not doing that.
All right, so
I'm not going out like that.
So
I'm not going out like that.
Naked and afraid.
That's right.
So here's another. Let's piggyback off of that.
All right.
Pissing in the pool.
I guess I did it as a kid, but as an adult, I won't do it.
Yeah, I feel like and we put the pool in the backyard this summer.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't, but I'm also to the point where I drink enough beer that I know when I gotta go and I know when to break the seal. And for some reason, I never have to piss when I'm actually in the pool. I mean, I can down 6 beers easily, but if I drink 1 glass of water, I gotta go. That's just what it is. So
I don't know about that. No, especially now that they put the different chlorine that changes color.
Yeah, like in what was the movie Grown Ups?
Yeah, Grown Ups. Yeah.
You're like,
that's a myth.
Hey, as long as it's not a Baby Ruth, you're all good.
There you go. Wait, we're not at the Humboldt Park Lagoon. Look, Mom, I found a toy.
Oh, no. It's like, why is there a needle sticking out of it?
That's Humboldt Park, man.
It is.
Yeah.
All right, before we go, what you looking at? What are you watching that isn't sports?
So, one of the shows that I started watching was the Malice at the Palace on Netflix. It's a documentary on the fight with the Indiana Pacers when they showed up in Detroit.
I watched it too. It was a very good, You see when Jermaine O'Neal came into the league, and when he came in with the Blazers, and he got traded over to the Pacers, and their whole thing with Ron Artest and all them kids. But that's fucking sports, you dumbass. Like, this is not sports. What are you watching that's not sports?
Shut up.
You forget it.
No, I didn't forget. The reason I had to watch that because I watched that garbage ass He-Man you recommended the other day.
Oh no. Hold up. Let me ask you a question.
I watched 2 episodes and I did not fucking. Besides Mark Hamill voicing the shit, it sucked.
Hold on. It didn't suck. First of all, it didn't suck. But here's the caveat.
Suck, blowed, whatever.
Oh, well, I don't know what you be doing, but I think your vacuum is broken, sir. How does that mean the same thing? It's whatever. But here's my question for you though. Like, were you really into He-Man as a kid, or did you like really watch?
I was aware of it. I wasn't like a fanatic for it. I would watch it when it was on, but I wasn't a fanatic. I enjoyed Skeletor the most out of the whole thing.
See, with me though, like for He-Man was my shit, like all the way through. I mean, I remember the opening credits, and I think we talked about this with Coach E. Soulstar a few weeks ago. My whole thing with He-Man, I remember growing up on the USA Kids Club. Remember that on USA Channel?
I didn't have cable as a kid, Joe.
Yeah, well,
you were lucky.
Yeah, okay. You should have seen. I remember Prime Cable in the old janky thing where we had like 4 channels and we paid like, I don't know. Honestly, I didn't do the bills when I was a kid, so I don't know how much we paid. But yeah, so USA Kids Club, they had all these old Hanna-Barbera cartoons, and one of the things I want to say was every day at 7:00 in the morning, He-Man would come on. And it was He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, and he picks up the mighty sword and by the power of Grayskull, and then he would go up to the screen and he would punch the screen and he'd go, Ch. So I used to literally, as a little kid, I remember being 5, and this is the heavy TVs, the glass,
the tube.
That had the tube and the glass screen, and not like now, like you look at the TV and it falls off the wall.
Please tell me you didn't break one.
No, I didn't break it, but that was my whole thing. I would stand in front of the screen, and as he's, punching the screen, it was almost like a fist bump, like, and it was my shit. And I remember going out in the backyard, and my dad had an old pile of lumber that he would salvage from a garage that he pulled down. And I was 5 years old, and I went back there and I picked up a stick to hold it above my head like He-Man, and that stick had a fucking nail in it and went through my hand, and I had to go to get a tetanus shot. But I'm gonna tell you, the main reason why I loved He-Man so much. When he got his powers, he turned tan.
Oh, I was gonna say, I thought you like running around in your underwear, your tidy whities.
I do enjoy that, but tidy whities. But the point is that when I was a kid, I didn't really have people that were like me. I kind of stood out, and when you had that box of 8 crayons, and the darker skinned kids would color with the brown crayon, and the lighter skinned kids would color with the pink crayon. Yeah. You know what crayon I colored with? Orange. Because of my skin tone, it just made more sense. Well, I'm not black and I'm not pink. You know what I mean? So orange made sense to me. So when he got all his powers, he went from light skin
to orange
to a tan guy.
Yeah.
And to me, that was amazing. I was like looking at me like, this is a dude that looks like me. So when we talk about representation, it's huge. It's huge. You know what I mean? So that's why He-Man will always be the shit to me. Now, if you know the shallow history of He-Man himself and like the storyline behind He-Man, there's not much there. So what they did with the new series is a lot of backstory and about the actual castle and where the magic comes from and so on and so forth. So if you're not invested in the original story, what do you care about He-Man? You know what I mean? So that's what it is.
Yeah, I won't finish it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if you're not invested in Star Wars, you're not going to watch the new movies.
Agreed.
It's just anything like that.
All right, what you watching?
So, piggybacking kind of on the nerd culture, I've been watching on Apple TV Mythic Quest, which is I didn't know what the hell it was. So basically, this is Rob McElhenney, and there's a lot of actual people that was in it. You got Danny Putty, who was from Community. He played Abed. Rob was in Always Sunny in Philadelphia. There's a lot of different characters in here, and basically they are a open world video game company for a game called Mythic Quest. So basically, and it's almost like I never played World of Warcraft, but watching the actual series and the kind of way that they're trying to present the gameplay, that's what I'm gathering. This is supposed to be a kind of a mockumentary style or whatever it is you want to call it. But yeah, so basically it's just a show about them keeping the game online, updating the game. You have your programmers versus your monetary guys and stuff like that. So it's really funny. It kind of, like I said, it kind of caught me off guard. I wasn't really looking for that show, but I was like, yeah, whatever. Let me see what this is, and it's really good. I definitely recommend it, especially anyone that's ever been a gamer or played any type of these open world games and things like that. And just if you're interested in any type of tech at all, it's very it's a super nerdy and super fun show to watch.
There we go.
So the other thing that I kind of circled back on, which I want to say it popped up on Netflix, was Horrible Bosses.
That's a great fucking movie.
I forgot how like wild and like grimy this movie is. The other one that I was watching was the Neighborhood Watch movie. You remember that?
Yes.
So what was it? Ben Stiller,
Jonah Hill.
What's his name? The tall bastard. Vince Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn, yeah.
And this other guy, I always forget his name, but he was on the show, the IT Crowd or the It Crowd, a British TV show. Very, very funny, very raunchy, underrated.
Yes,
a lot of stuff going on there. And the funny thing is, I don't know if I was talking to you or my wife, but one of the things that we were talking about. One and the same. At this point, you guys split custody. But you don't see movies like these raunchy comedy movies.
No,
anymore.
the apple pies, what was it? American Pie. Yeah, that stuff is done. Cancel culture is going to kill all that.
It might come back at some point, but you have to kind of go underground to watch that kind of thing now. It's not coming out in the theaters. You're seeing all the Disney, all the cartoons, the superhero movies, the rehashing of this, that, or whatever. Yeah. And love stories.
I'm surprised.
See raunchy comedy anymore.
I'm surprised cancel culture isn't going after The Simpsons and Family Guy yet.
Nah, I mean, but you know why? It's because they're animated. You can get away with anything in animation. Like, look at Big Mouth.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Look at what was it? The Coach show that we were watching.
Oh my God.
Hoops on Netflix.
Yeah. If you watch, you're gonna laugh your ass off with that one.
It's like, oh my fucking God, you're the best player I've ever seen. You should play for me. I don't even play basketball. I don't give a fuck. You're 13 and you're tall. You should come. Oh my God, it's fantastic. It's worth the watch, y'all. But yeah,
and that is the voice, ladies and gentlemen. That is the voice. Yes, literally the voice.
I think was it Jake Johnson from New Girl is the voice of that. Yeah. He's got a lot of voiceover work. He's super underrated. But that is it. That's what we got for today. How'd you feel about that show?
I had a lot of fun.
We did. I think we were just saying when it's you and me and there's not all these guests that get in our way, which we love talking to guests. It's very informative, but
this was just us two just shooting the shit
and just bullshitting and just
it flows really good.
Yeah, we have a good time. But thank you so much for listening. A big thank you to our sponsors, 606 Media, True Chicago Sports Fans, ACSI, and Grit Clothing Company. Don't forget to go to gritclothingco.com and get your official TCSF podcast t-shirt. Search for keyword True Chicago and use our promo code TrueFan15 at checkout for 15% off of your entire order. That's TrueFan15. Go and get your shirts right now.
Yes, sir.
And don't forget to visit our new friends at acsi.tech and check out their career section to start an exciting new career in the communications industry. Check out our Facebook page for a job fair in your area. Shout out to Shine Native Radio Podcast, now available on all major platforms. Mike Logic, Ideal, Throw MC, and Words talk about sports, movies, and all types of eel shit. Go check them out right now. Special shout out to the homie Mike Logic. The brand new single Whiskey on the Rocks from the upcoming album, as I was saying, is now available on Spotify. And his song Dreams is making the rounds. It's been on the radio.
Yes, sir.
Check that out. I did the artwork, so you'll see it and recognize the greatness right away.
It's about Mike Logic, not you.
Yeah, well, hey, we didn't talk shit about Mike all show. We did not. He did not get one. Nope. Hey. Give him his flowers. He's come out with some dope new music, and make sure you check for him. Type in MICLOGIK on Spotify and check out his music. Shout out to Ronesh and shout out to Panic for the beats we played on today's show. Check out paniconthebeat.com for all your Mole Man merch and gear. And don't forget to check us out on social media. You can find us at True Shy Fans on Twitter and on TikTok. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, and reach out to us. Hit the DMs, hit the email, Give us your stir in the pot, your movie recommendations, your reviews of the show, what you think about what the Cubs are doing, and are the White Sox going to win the World Series?
Let's hope so.
Hit us up, all of our DMs, and you can also reach us at truechicagosportsfans@gmail.com. All right, y'all, for Big Z, this is E-Roc. We will see you next week for episode 660.
60, bro.
60. That's like a 60-year-old man.
I mean, pretty soon we'll get some retirement benefits here.
Okay. All right. I can stop working.
No. No.
All right, y'all. Until then, be good to each other.
For love of sports.
Yeah.
Thanks, Cubs.
Motherfucker. You are absolutely correct on that.
A few moments later.
You have a lot of incest.
That's real.
Shut your mouth. Lover boy.
Nature versus nurture, Lodge. Nature always wins.
I think he's on steroids.
Hasta luego, amigos. Show's over, show's over, show's over.